Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a very popular watch. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch Sapphire Sandwich, as it's known, or it's just with the Moonwatch with the sapphire crystal instead of Hesselite. So now let's take this watch down to the table and get a closer look at it. Okay guys, here's the watch in greater detail, and right away I'm going to go over this watch's 42mm stainless steel case. Now, this is for sure one of the most famous cases on the market today, as this is probably the most famous watch out. Maybe the Submariner is a little bit above that, but I mean, this is for sure in the top like 3. This watch is just has such an iconic case, and you can definitely see why. It has this nice brushing on the sides of the case, on both sides, and then you have this flowing bevel polish going from the top of one lug to the other on both sides, and it just looks absolutely stunning. Omega kind of integrates this design in many of their other watches, and it looks absolutely fabulous. So now I'm going to move on to the dial. Now the dial, traditional Seamaster dial, you can see it's a blackish gray matte dial with sunken sub-dials, and it just looks absolutely great. I mean, you can just see how clean that is and how visible it is. You're not going to not be able to see the hands of the sub-dials or the indices. I mean, they just pop. There's a huge amount of contrast, which is what they needed to pick this watch for NASA, and that's why they did, because it's a very easy, legible chronograph and it functions great. So now I'm going to move on to that function. So, as I said, it's a chronograph, and I'm sure many of you know this. And to actuate it, you just press the top pusher in. Now the second hand will start going, but your minutes for the chronograph are on the right. Your hours for the chronograph are on the bottom, and then what's on the left there is that's just your running seconds for when you're just when you're not operating the chronograph. You can still have a second time right there. So now I'm going to stop it, and then to reset, it will just fly back when you click this bottom pusher. There it goes. Great action on this. It's one of the most famous movements. I mean, it's a unbelievable chronograph movement. Now I'm actually going to move on to that. So this is actually this is what makes the Sapphire Seamaster special, in that it has a sapphire crystal versus the Hesselite crystal in the other Speedmaster Professionals, and then it also has a clear sapphire back, which you can see the beautiful movement back there. Now this is the Omega Caliber 1863. Oops, sorry, one sec, let me get that into focus there. So you can see it right there. I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. I really like how they leave the movement very bare. There isn't a big plate blocking your view on top. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And then those accents of gold and the rubies just look great. And what's interesting is that you can actually operate the chronograph and watch it go. So one sec, I'm trying to figure out a position my hands. So there, so here, watch when I press the button. So there, you can see it move right there, and then you can also see it a little bit when it stops and goes there. So now the chronograph, I just want to make sure it is still running. So now I'll stop it, and then I'll reset it, and you'll see it. There, you can see it reset. So that's a really cool aspect of having the clear case back on this piece. So now I'm going to actually move on to our wrist shot. So everything is the same about this, besides the crystal and the case back, as the normal Speedmaster Professional, sorry. And it wears perfect on the wrist. It's the perfect sports watch size. I mean, 42mm is great. It looks absolutely fantastic. So nice and thin. I mean, it's a perfect sports watch, but you actually could definitely even wear it with a suit or things like that. So overall, this watch is absolutely great. I mean, the Seamaster Professional, nothing gets better than that. But there is one downside to this that I'd like to talk about. So you might think that this, I mean, having the sapphire, I mean, that's a good option. Doesn't scratch as easy, and you get the clear case back. But really, having the sapphire actually makes this watch a little less desirable than the Hesselite, because the original one that went on the lunar module was not sapphire crystal. That was Hesselite, like the other Speedmaster Professional. So most people like to stay true to that and get the one closest to what that was sent into space. And personally, that's what I would prefer. I would not buy the sapphire, but I know there are a lot of you that would like the sapphire, as you might scratch up your watches and things, so you want that. But personally, as a recommendation, I would actually go with just the Hesalite, as they tend to hold up a little better on the pre-owned market as well. So this watch is available here at JB Hudson, though, if you're interested, for $6,250. And for a watch with this history and this technology, I mean, that's not that bad. But it is quite of there is quite a price difference between the Hesalite and this being quite a bit more expensive. So another thing to consider. So thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.